All right, guys, for our second lesson today, or for the second lesson for poetry, I should say, I have another bit of figurative language I want to talk to you about before I show you your poetry style for today. So we're going to talk specifically today about an onomatopoeia, which is one of my very favorite words to say. Again, that's onomatopoeia, which I'm sure if I put that on a spelling test, not that we have those, but if I did, you guys wouldn't even come close to spelling that correctly. But what's so cool about it is it's basically a word that is describing the sounds of words. You've got to have a cool sounding word if you're using a word to describe the sound of words. So anyway, an onomatopoeia is something like all of these examples down here. Swoosh, zing, zip, sizzle, thump, clank, bonk, sh, pow. So those are all words like you would use in any kind of story. Specifically, poetry would be the best because they really are very descriptive of what you're talking about. So if I were to say, if I had the word bang on there, B-A-N-G, and I was using it to sound like something slammed shut or something like that, rather than just saying the door slammed shut, to say something like bang, the door slammed shut, you even read it the way that it's supposed to sound, and it makes you really, really feel like you are there listening to that activity happen. So onomatopoeias are really, really great, and you guys are already pretty good at using them, but I definitely wanted to show those to you today. Make sure you knew what that meant. And another cool thing is called an alliteration, which is actually going to lead you into your poetry style today. So an alliteration, it says it's the technique of using words that begin with the same letter. And it's just kind of fun because it gives it a pattern, and patterns in poetry are really awesome. So this says, 5 funny firemen found fish. Well, that's obviously, first of all, a sentence that's all starting with the word F, or the letter F, but then what's kind of cool about it is to break down that sentence. So you've got 5 funny firemen, and they all found fish. You can actually picture, 5 firemen being kind of goofy in their gear, maybe sitting around a fishing pond trying to catch some fish. So you could say that like there one time was 5 men who had the job of a fireman, and they were kind of funny, and they went fishing one day and they were able to catch some fish. Well, that just doesn't sound quite as good. And then the other example they gave you was, she eagerly eats enormous eggs. And again, you could have said that in a much more boring way, but this is very descriptive, and it's kind of fun to read at the same time. So, like I said, today's poetry style is actually an alliteration, and these are alphabet alliterations. So let me read to you the hubbub first, and then I'll get into some examples. So this says, in alliteration, the first letter of each important word in the line begins with the same letter. These poems end up being crazy nonsense. It says, use your imagination and alliteration skills to write at least 3 words for each alphabet letter. The first word will be an adjective, so remember that's the one that describes something. Your second word will be a noun, and a noun is a person, place, or thing. And then the third word is going to be a verb, and a verb is your action word. Okay, so it says if you want to, you can write longer alliteration phrases. That's no problem at all. So again, your first word is an adjective, your second word is a noun, your third word is a verb. So your first word describes, your second word is the thing it's describing, and the third word is the thing that you've described and what it's doing. Okay? So they gave 6 examples down here. It says, awesome ants ache, bony baboons bake, crazy cats crawl, dizzy dogs drool, eager egrets eat, ferocious ferrets fake. It's just kind of fun the way that they all sort of fall off the tongue, or the way that they roll off the tongue is what I was looking for there. So I did some of my own alphabet alliterations based on you guys. So let me read these out loud to you. Some were easier than others. Jittery Jane jumps, matchless Mateo maneuvers, daring Damien dashes, talented Taylor tries, interesting Isaac invents, merry Miley motivates, rad Ridley rides, kooky Kyla kids, mindful Mason masters math, loyal Liliana leads, playful Penny pioneers, amazing Allie accepts, awesome Audrey accomplishes, artistic Ariana animes, beloved Bonnie builds up, caring Colston comforts, clever Crimson creates, persistent Peter perseveres, pleasant Peyton plays, big-hearted Blake boosts, tremendous Trevor tripled, charming Chance chills, smooth Sydney socializes, kind Kendall knows, skillful Skylar sports, and energetic Elliot eats. because we didn't have 26. So those were just for fun. It didn't take me long, and I had a good time. So your activity today in your poetry journal, or whether you're doing it off to the side, is just encouraging you to use all 26 letters of the alphabet and come up with an adjective, and then a noun, and then a verb. So remember, they told you that they don't necessarily have to perfectly make sense. So you could do something like, I think it's easier to start with your noun so you know what it is you're describing. So it could be a mouse, for example. And then you could think of a way to describe a mouse. So maybe he's a magnificent mouse. And then we want to think of something that he could do. The magnificent mouse muted. Maybe he turned off the TV. Whatever. Okay, so that's going to be kind of your fun activity for today. Again, you can do Flipgrid to share you don't have to share all 26, but you could share one or two that you liked. You could share at a Zoom call if you'd like, or you can also share it with your family. Okay?